Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. Really tricky one today. You can probably already see why, can't you? This lady's come in and she's got the same problem in both ears. She's got this really deep stuff that's trapped in the recesses in both of her ears. A right nightmare it was to get out this, and I had to resort to irrigation, but I've got some really cool images of irrigation being done inside the ear canal, which is quite difficult to capture, but I've found a technique where I can manage to get some decent images. There's some that are just bubbly and a bit of a mess and you can't tell what's going on, but stick with it. I promise you there's going to be some really cool images if you haven't seen irrigation filmed endoscopically in the ear before. And it's a very good reason why we had to resort to it, because this stuff just wasn't coming out. Now, obviously, when you're doing stuff like this, this is with a fine end tube, the smaller the tube. It's really difficult because it's deep down, it's on the eardrum, it's round a bend. These tools are all straight, so they're difficult to get into that area. Now, I know some practitioners do occasionally bend the tubes. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that. For a couple of reasons. It changes the integrity of that. And for example, this is worst case scenario. This is, I think nursing teaches you to be very risk averse, which can be a good thing sometimes. It can get in the way sometimes. We'll say, for example, if something went wrong during this procedure, I accidentally popped someone's eardrum and I'd already bent one of these tubes. Worst case scenario, the patient put a complaint in, took you to court, tried to sue you, and then they'd say, so how did this happen? What was the practitioner doing? You know, well, they bent this tube, and does it say in the instructions you can bend this tube? And if the answer is no, which it will be, then because you can't interfere with a medical device, you shouldn't. And then they would say, well, I'm sorry, you haven't got a leg to stand on. You owe patient X amount, and don't do it again. So I'm not a fan for that reason. And in my opinion, there's a just as safer way of getting rid of it, which is just to flush it out, which is what I did in this instance. Now it's really, it's one of these that there's always more down there than you can tell, but it's just so, I don't know if she'd got it in there, whether she pushed it down there with a cotton bud or it just has formed down there, I don't know. But it's really pushed up against the side of this recess, and it's nigh on impossible, because as I kept touching it, you'll probably see a little bit comes away, then it looks like it almost disappears further underneath. Did you just see that? It's like hiding from me. I'm like, where on earth am I supposed to get that now? So yeah, that's why I irrigated it. Anyway, while you're watching this, I want to tell you, well, I'll say a funny story. I didn't think it was funny at the time. Well, bits of it were about my day yesterday. If you've never watched my channel before, I sometimes do that. Drift off topic and don't tell you about the ears. But I just had one of them days where I think, oh no, what else can go wrong? It all started. I'm laughing already because it was funny. It all started when I got a phone call from school. Let me preface this. Me and my wife, we have a that's your job, that's your job type scenario. We share it out evenly. Here comes the irrigation, I think. And it's always my job to make the kids packed lunches to take to school. It's just a dad thing for some reason in our house. I don't know why. But anyway, it is. So I always make it, and every morning when I get up, I take it out, make it the night before, take it out the fridge and put it into the kids' bags. I'm also a big fan of Tupperware, keeping everything fresh and sealed in the fridge, something that you've opened. If you've opened any salad or vegetables, you know, or I'll put them, or cheese, and I'll put them in a Tupperware box, put them in the fridge to keep them fresh. And you can see, you might be able to already see where this is going. So I put what I thought was my daughter's packed lunch in a school bag yesterday morning, and about 11 o'clock got a phone call from school. There's a problem with your daughter's lunch. Like, okay, what's the problem? you've given her a block of cheese and nothing else. I said, huh? What do you mean? I said, you've given her a block of cheese in a lunchbox. And then my brother-in-law, because I couldn't get out of the clinic, my brother-in-law, look at these images here. My brother-in-law went to school. He opened the fridge and he noticed that her packed lunch was still in the fridge. And the Tupperware box that I keep the cheese in, and that was just it, just one block of cheddar, was not there. So I'd obviously took out the block of cheese in the Tupperware box, mistaking it for a lunchbox, and put it in my daughter's bag to go to school. I don't think she saw the funny side, not till later anyway. She thought it was some kind of dad practical joke. Anyway, it wasn't. Anyway, it gets worse than that. Look at this thing flapping around in the air. So yeah, combination of irrigation, microsuction, etc., etc. But let me tell you what else happened. It didn't stop there. So when I get home and after I finished getting roasted from my daughter about doing this, and she's like, "Oh, Dad, you're getting too old. You're losing your marbles, etc." So all right, fair enough. I just took it on the chin. My son, unlike him, had been cleaning his bedroom after he got back from school. He said, "Dad, come up and have a look." So, all right, I'll come and have a look. So I turned the light switch on, turn the landing light on at the top of the stairs. Bulb went, got no bulbs left, so I'm having to walk up there in the dark. As soon as I got to the top of the stairs, I just felt a thud and a sharp pain on my shin. And because it was dark, I couldn't see. But what he'd done, he'd tidied up his room, but all the stuff that he didn't want, he just left outside his door. And one of these things was one of my old guitar speakers that he had, which I just sharp edges on it, so I banged my shin straight on that. And then I was like, "What are you doing leaving this on the landing when it's pitch black?" If that wasn't bad enough, so after I gave him a roasting for doing that, I said, "It's just daft leaving things outside your room at the top of the stairs. Someone could have an accident like I just did." Got a cracking bruise on my shin. This procedure's already finished, I know, but it gets worse. So I stormed into my bedroom already in a bad mood because I've just been roasted by my daughter and I just had a do with my son about this. And so I went into my bedroom, needed the loo. So I stormed into the ensuite and sat down really quickly on the toilet. What I didn't realise was that the toilet seat was down. Now, any man who's ever done this will instantly know what's happened here and will feel my pain. Because when the toilet seat down, you take your trolleys off and you sit down, and I sat down in a huff. Obviously, you sit straight on the seat. I mean, the lid. So there was no space for things to entangle into, so to speak. So yeah, I sat down in it and completely squashed my nuts, and everybody heard the scream throughout the house. They're like, "Oh my God, Dad, what's happened?" So I had to explain it, and then I got a roasting from everybody from being a right idiot. So that was my day yesterday. How was your day? Let me know if you've ever had one of those days where just nothing seems to go right, and you have maybe you're having some senior moments like I did, sending some cheese in for lunch. But yeah, let me know if you've had any days like that and what's happened to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the procedure, by the way. I know I didn't really talk much about it, but I'm sure you could see it while I was going on. Maybe you need to watch this video again and mute me while you're watching the procedure and see what's going on, because you might be distracted. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you have a laugh at my expense, which is fine by me. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Ta-da.